what I want us to discuss now is how to conquer masturbation. The first step you need to take, if you're having challenge breaking free from the habit of masturbation, the first challenge, the first thing you need to do is this: avoid pornography by all means. Avoid pornography by all means. Sexual urge is already a very powerful urge. In fact, watching pornography is like pouring a petrol on a burning fire. What does it do? It does not quench the flame, rather, it does what? It intensifies it. It heightens the flame. So if you want to help yourself, the first thing to do is to do what? Avoid pornography. If you have a smartphone, you can go to Google Play Store and download some apps. There are apps that once you download and install them in your phone, it will be difficult for your phone to access pornographic sites. Such apps, you can, if you just go to Google Play Store and type pornography blockage or block app, you will see so many options to choose from. Once you download any of them, trust me, it will be difficult for you to access pornographic sites. And then the second point, stay active. Avoid being idle. Stay what? Active. Avoid being idle. There is a saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Masturbation is what people do in their closet. It is not what you do when somebody is watching you. It is something you do when you have closed the door and drawn down your curtain. In darkness, that is where masturbation thrives. But you can't avoid being lonely. It is not possible. Every human being needs moments of loneliness. You need loneliness to take your bath. You need loneliness to sleep and other things. But one thing I want you to avoid is whenever you are lonely, never you be idle. Never you be what? Idle. Fill your lonely moment with activities. Fill your lonely moment with what? Activities. You can be lonely drawing, learning how to draw. You can be lonely learning a musical instrument. You can be lonely reading a good book. You can be lonely watching beautiful TV programs. Let me tell you, the amount of time you spend on masturbation, if you begin to calculate it and use it to learn one skill or the other, you'll be surprised. Take, for instance, you know Wizkid, you know Davido, and some other music stars. Do you think they wake up in the morning and go to studio to produce their music? No. They take time to master the lyrics. They take time to master the sound. Sometimes they lock them up in a room, continue to learn the track, learn the lyrics, learn the beat and everything before eventually they go to studio to produce their music. So lonely moments can be moments to be productive. So whenever you are lonely and the urge to masturbate comes, the first thing you should tell yourself is, what am I doing now? If you answer that question correctly, you will know that you are idle, that you are doing nothing. So once you are idle, trust devil. Devil will give you a work to do. And his work is always a terrible one. He will engage you. So avoid loneliness. The third point, look for support group. Look for support group. You can have a friend, a trusted friend, who you can confide in. A friend you can tell, look at my goal, look at my target. I want to achieve this. I want you to encourage me. I want you to always ask me, how are you coping? And because you have a friend, you have somebody you want to tell of your achievement, of your progress in trying to defeat this challenge, it becomes a further boost to your resolve to conquer this challenge. From time to time, you can go to the friend and say, oh, I am winning this battle. And the friend will say, kudos. You may even see somebody who is also caught up in this challenge. And then two of you will enter into this kind of arrangement. Let us support ourselves morally. Let us encourage ourselves. Let us keep pushing until we conquer this. Very important. The fourth point, keep a calendar. Keep a calendar or diary. Now, look at what you will do with this calendar. Look at what you do with this calendar. Any single day you did not masturbate, you go there and do what? And take a big good for you, for yourself. Any single day you did not masturbate, you go and take a very good mark for yourself. Watch it. After like a month, you may look at your calendar and see lineup of goods, marks. It will tell you how much you have achieved. It helps you to see that you are winning this battle. Keeping calendar helps you to track your progress result, to see how far you have gone. Imagine opening a calendar and discovering that from January to March, you have not failed a single day. It has a way of boosting your resolve. But the danger with this one is the fifth point. Treat each failure in isolation. Treat each failure in isolation. What do I mean by this? You may have abstained for like 3 months without breaking. You look at your calendar. Oh, for 3 months, I have not done this. And then all of a sudden, you fail. That failure can demoralize you, can make you feel like giving up. It will seem like, oh, my 3 months of effort are now wasted. No. Treat each failure as a single case. Don't treat it as a sign that you have failed your 3 months effort. So treat each one in isolation and then consult a professional, a mental health professional. There are people, somebody told me one day that he masturbates about 5 times a day. And I mean it, about 5 times a day. In psychology, this could be called an obsessive compulsive disorder. An obsessive compulsive disorder. Such a person needs a professional guidance. So you can meet healthcare professional who is specialized in human sexuality to help you and handle this. And then always exercise. Always exercise. Exercising has a way of lightening up your mood, making you not to feel bored. Because sometimes you may stay indoor and feel so bored that you need to release some energy. Exercise has a way of doing the magic. When you go into exercise, you release this dopamine feeling that makes you feel all right, feel okay. So very important, exercise. So when you put all these tips in place, you also pray for God's guidance to help you to continue to make sincere and genuine effort. In fighting any habit, there are 3 things you need to know. It is called habit loop. The habit loop is made up of what is known as cue, response, or routine and reward. Cue, routine, and reward. I will explain it. When you talk of cue, C-U-E, in habit loop, what it meant is this. Something that triggers a certain habit. A cue can mean a place. That whenever you enter this place, automatically, what your brain reminds you to do is to masturbate. A cue could be your phone. Whenever you pick this phone, what it tells you is pornography. A cue could be a person. Now, whenever you are with this person, what the discussion lists is something that puts you in this trouble. A man called James Clear, the author of Atomic Habit, said that every habit needs a home. Now, the home that makes masturbation possible Could be idleness. Could be pornography. Could be being in an enclosed place where no eye is seeing you. If you can break free, if you can destroy the home that makes that habit possible, you are almost 80% free. So what the Q tells you is this. Then routine. Routine is whenever you find yourself in this place, that action you normally do is the routine. That whenever I enter my room, the routine thing is to sleep. And you can tell yourself, since I don't want to sleep, I should not enter my room. There was a man who was finding it hard reading his book. He discovered that he placed his reading desk inside his room. And whenever he enters his room, the first thing he sees is his bed. And whenever he sees his bed tells him it's time to sleep. Now, what did he do? This man removed his bed from his room and said, I will never bring my bed until 10 p.m. every night. So he took his bed and kept it at the balcony. Whenever he enters his room, the bed is no longer there. The cue that triggers the behavior, that pushes him to go and sleep, the bed is no longer there. Now he sees his sitting position and table. He goes down, sits, and starts reading. He will continue to read. If he feels bored and wants to sleep, he will turn back. The bed is not there. In that case, he has removed the cue, which is a habitat that makes the habit possible. He has removed it. Now he will read and read. When it is 10 o'clock, when he is done reading, he goes to the balcony, brings his phone back, and puts it in his room. By so doing, he was able to destroy the home that makes the habit possible. Very important. So the routine, the second point in the habit loop, is something you do each time the cue comes, the trigger comes, something you do. So once you know this, then you can do a reverse behavior. That when the cue comes, I tell myself, I have told myself I'll be using the time I use in masturbation for learning how to draw. So when the urge comes, the first thing that should come to your mind is, it is time to learn my skill. It is time to learn my skill. Trust me, if you use the time you spend masturbating to learn maybe how to draw, how to learn how to play one musical instrument or the other, you will be surprised. Maybe at the end of maybe 2 years, you'll be surprised at how far you have gone. I do tell people, even if you masturbate from now until the next 20 years, it is not going to add any skill to yourself. But if you use the time you are getting, you are spending on it to learn a skill, by the time you achieve like 5 years or thereabout, you'll be surprised at how you have used that time so well. And then the final point in the habit loop is called reward. Something that makes you want to do the habit. Something that whenever you remember, you want to repeat that act. In masturbation, you can call it orgasm or whatever. Something that feels rewarding. Whenever this act is performed, it feels rewarding. Do you know you can tell yourself to change the reward with something else? That when the cue comes, cue could mean a room that makes you to do this, and then the routine, what you do when the trigger comes, and then the reward, what you get when you perform the act. You can tell yourself, I want my reward to be that after 30 minutes, I can play a lesson that I have learned in learning this musical instrument, or that whenever I do this, whenever I don't do this, I will always give myself a good chilled drink. Any day I failed in doing this, I will give myself. That is, look for something that is so rewarding. I will call my friend and tell my friend, I succeeded today. I conquered this today. So when you apply these strategies, you will see how it is going to help you. So who got the 5 points I made about the breaking any bad habits? Chibeze, come fast.
Avoid pornography, safety activities, avoid being angry, looking for support group, keep a calendar, treat your failure as a single case. Thank you.
He tried. Who else wants to give a uh-huh? Frank.
Avoid pornography. Stay active and not be idle. Look for support group. Do always exercise. True to failure isolation.
Frank tried. Frank tried. Who is giving it off head? Okolo? Who is giving it off head now? You see the way he gave it off head? Honor. Fast, fast.
How to conquer masturbation. Stay active. Treat each failure with isolation. Always exercise. Stay active and do not be idle.
There is a point that is still missing. There is a point that is still missing. Final. You have answered now. No, I'm not asking you again. Come now. If you want to answer, come now. There is a point that is still missing.
Sex is a powerful.
No.
Prayers.
I mentioned prayer, yes.
Consult a mental health professional.
Beautiful. That's the point I'm still looking for. Consult. Didn't I say it? I said it. So who can now give me all of them without missing anyone?
Avoid pornography by all costs. Stay active and avoid being idle. Always exercise. Consult a mental health professional. Never treat a case with isolation.
Tips on how to conquer masturbation. 1. Avoid pornography by all means. 2. Stay active. Avoid being idle. 3. Look for support group. 4. Keep a calendar or diary. 5. Treat every failure in isolation. 6. Consult a medical health professional. And 7. Always have exercise.
We will give him a round of applause. But he didn't mention prayer, but he tried very well. I think I will give him 500. I will give him 500. I'm not asking again. I said, I'm not asking again. Go and sit down. Go and sit down. But he tried very well. He tried very well. I'm happy. I'm happy you learned it. I'm happy you learned it. Now, see, I'm going to meet people on the way and ask them. If you get it, I will still give you a prize. Honestly, I will do it. If you get it, I will still give you a prize. So I'm happy that all of you have learned one thing or the other about how to conquer masturbation. So I pray you put these things into practice. And as you do it, may God bless and reward all of you through Christ our Lord.